Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to day one of our CSGO Legend series. It's the third time we've done this and I'm joined by Nero once again. How are you doing, man?
Hello, I'm doing quite fine, although it's still hot as hell in Poland, just as for the last 3 days really, but tomorrow apparently it's going to cool down, so for Group B probably I'll have more energy than this far, but yeah, Group A kicking off with FTW versus Squared soon enough. I'm really happy to be back here on Counter-Strike, but we just finished Overwatch, so I can't say that my hands are not full of work.
Yeah, obviously you've done a lot of casting recently. You did 2 days last week, 2 days this week, and then you've got Overwatch finals coming up, and then we've got so much CS coming up. Obviously, the whole of Group A today, starting with FTW versus Squared. So how are we seeing this game? Do we think that it's going to be a close matchup, or do we think that this is going to be more of a stomp?
I think it's not going to be a stomp by far, but this far FTW have not really surprised me positively in the Legend series, although they got invites to many of them. And Squared eSports, this is a lineup that I know a little bit of. They're extremely experienced if it comes to the Serbian scene right there, but the question is, are they not rusty completely right now? Because these guys have been coming and going every now and then, and they're nearing even the 30s and so on and so on. So I'm not sure if they're going to be on, they will be on par to actually give it a shot in this group, but we'll see. I have to say that for the first match at least, they will be my favorite.
Obviously, being 30 years old in CSGO isn't actually even an understatement. We say that the veterans in CSGO are normally like in their mid to late 20s. It's like Taz, who's commonly seen as somebody who's like quite old. He's only in his late 20s, I'm pretty sure. I think he's only 29. I don't even think he's 30. I'll have to look that one up. But obviously he's a veteran of the game who's been playing like 12 or so years. So obviously you still can have it when you're in your 30s. Your life isn't over at 30, is it?
Oh man, for sure. That's all what I'm trying to say right here. But obviously, like physically, some of your like stats just drop a little bit and stuff like that. But still, you can achieve a lot even when you're past your 30s or around that age, and it was proven already by various players. And also, like if we're talking about the statistics for some teams, the maps played and stuff like that, Ninjas in Pajamas are really happy with their statistics on that. Virtus.pro is nearing 1,000 played maps already, and they're way up there, of course, and they're eating some other teams up with experience. But lately, it is just starting to disappear a little bit, so I don't know, just Virtus.pro, one time they're able to get something. Sometimes they're not even getting out of the groups out there on even easy tournaments, people might say. They're dropping by leagues and stuff, so that's interesting of a thing to definitely communicate out there. But yeah, as you people can see, Jamie has left me, at least for a moment right now, and we are waiting to kick it off with the first match, FTW.Evo RAZER versus Squared eSports. And as I mentioned, I am a little bit familiar with the Serbian guys. I know some of them even personally, and they definitely used to be good players. The question is, are they still? FTW.Evo RAZER, this far, FTW have not really exceeded at Overwatch, at Counter-Strike last time, definitely, and League of Legends, I think that they had the better performance of the other Legend series, but overall, I think it's going to be really tough for them, because it's not the first time, the pressure is going to be big, already people losing the belief in them, but well, the Portuguese community is really strong. I love what the project really is. It is a project that brings a lot of young people together. They have a ton of teams and a lot of divisions in different games, and they're really making the esports grow in Portugal. But just the sheer numbers aren't going to get you through a group like this, since in the second match we're going to see Outlaws GG versus AYB eSports. And AYB, when I just noticed them, because it was supposed to be Berserk, actually, it was changed just before we started. AYB is going to be joining the mix, and the thing is, they're not as no names as the logo or the team itself right here might look like. So I think that they're also going to get a shot at Outlaws GG, although probably Outlaws will be the biggest favorites for this group, and we'll see, because during Overwatch we actually found out that not everything is set in stone. Teams that aren't supposed to go through are sometimes going through, and groups that are supposed to be extremely one-sided actually were the closest ones that we saw out there. So that's going to be surely a thing to watch. Definitely these first matches will decide a lot, because if somebody's to fight Outlaws, it's probably between AYB and Squared, but I really don't think that Squared will be just as strong. I don't think that they will be the last team in the group, but I don't also think that they will get a chance to really reach the first spot. But here we go. Jamie apparently is.
Hello, welcome back to myself. So what's been said whilst I've been absent, Nero? Have we been talking about take it away?
I've been waging the chances of all the teams in this group a little bit, kind of briefed who they are and stuff like that.
Okay, so sure thing. About this matchup especially, what are we saying in terms of a prediction? Do you have a specific prediction that you can throw at me right now?
Yeah, just when you were leaving, actually, I said that Squared will be my favorite for this matchup because of so many participations in these tournaments from Evo, from FTW.Evo already, and never really being able to achieve anywhere higher than the last place in the group. That I think it once again will repeat itself. But I'm definitely open to surprises. Hopefully they'll be able to do it positively this time. But this far, nothing really happened.
Yeah, sure thing. I think that that this does have the potential to be an upset match. I think both of these teams can show up. I think that this is one of the matches that are most open, though. I feel that we've obviously got Outlaws coming up, and I think that they're going to be a heavy favorite in that match. Whereas in this one, I think it's more wide open.
Yeah, so for Outlaws and AYB, I really just don't know where to put it, because Outlaws were supposed to be the favorites of the group alongside with Berserk, and that match was supposed to like decide what's going to happen really. But now that it's AYB up against them instead, I'm wondering what it's going to look like. If it's close right there, then there's also a chance the Squared might take them down and we get ourselves a close group. But just to kick it off, just looking at the names, it should probably be Outlaws to take it.
Yeah, I think the Outlaws definitely have the edge against everybody in this group. I think that they're the clear favorites. I think that their star power is just so great. They've got Cirque on their team, like a superstar AWPer. If they ever get to play Cobblestone, then they're going to be absolutely rolling today. Like, Cirque is just such an outstanding player. But here we go, into the knife round. We're into the game already.
Okay, so hopping into the knife round as you say, but well, the knife round right here on Train actually does decide quite a bit, so it's going to be more important than on some of the other matches today, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. I think that if you get a CT side start, you can get your economy rolling, and this one, could have been the 1v2 there, but no, LRO is going to clutch it, and FTW get that CT start that they wanted.
Definitely a good start, a good thing to kick the match off, a good thing to get yourself maybe a little bit of an advantage, but most importantly in their case I think confidence. That's where they might lack, and also as far as I know in FTW there is also a thing like Evo and professional lineup, so in theory this is the worst lineup of FTW.
Yeah, and that poses a question. What would happen if they brought their best lineup in? What would happen if would this match just be a complete whitewash in their favor, or do you reckon Squared would still stand a chance against their main lineup?
I don't know. I just don't really know where to put FTW really. Like, with the amount of the lineups that they have right there, it's at some point even hard to tell them apart, as in the last tournament I don't think that there was a distinction between them really. I don't know whether it was the pro playing, but definitely I don't recognize these players, so it might have been the case. So if pro wasn't able to get out of the 4th place in the group, then Evo might stand even lesser of a chance.
Yeah, so is your prediction that FTW are probably going to end this group in 4th place?
I would say that on paper, yes. But first of all, I want to see them play, because I've said a lot of negative stuff about them, but it's not like I'm already just hanging them right off the bat.
Yeah, you're not totally counting them out. In with the pistol round, straight in. Nero, let's cast some Counter-Strike. I'm looking forward to this one, actually. This is the first time I've been in the Legend Series from day one, so I'm really excited just to see this tournament all the way through. FTW. Looks like a pretty default setup and a pretty passive setup as well. They don't actually seem to be going for any aggression at all.
Yeah, but two people focused on bomb site B right off the bat. There's not a guy that will be rotating around, but they're both already prepared. Like they knew that something might be happening around there, and indeed there is a big chance of Holmes and Jordan already preparing themselves.
And FTW, no casualties just yet. Square desperately looking for one of these opening picks, and players have been spotted all over the map. FTW, this bomb is even going down, so FTW need to get back onto this bomb site quick.
Yep. For now, Jordan to open up. Bomb, as you said, he's already down. StatAuto down to 20 HP, and they're losing Worms too. That's gonna turn around though slightly, as the CT's actually coming up back with a little bit of kills, but there's one more man on top of the bomb train, and that could surprise a little bit, quite a bit now, from the upper. There is quite some distraction, and DAVCobra, just like this, will be able to get a triple combined for himself, so good opening from Jordan T, getting the bomb site for themselves, and then DAVCobra, with some distraction from his team, able to get a triple. You can already see that they're going to have some good aim on the lineup of Squared Esports.
That's just overall a disgusting triple kill as well. Like, getting that position hunkered down on the B site, making sure that FTW couldn't even get in position to go for that retake. It's just so powerful. Picking up 3 kills. 1 kill would have been good enough, but he picks up all 3. And really romps it home for his team. 4-4 now, as FTW, they've bought back into this one.
Yeah. Dav, once again, he'll be trying to lead the charge out there, but Juric actually steals away that first kill. The grenade does not hit RRO, luckily enough. The CT's overall just not looking too strong in this round. The Deagles up close, they might be able to get some surprise headshot, but apparently Squared are a little bit too quick to react in order to take them out from some long range on the RRO. And that's going to be about it, as Worms, they are aiming down at that angle, but they decide not to look when he's passing by, so Jordan might be surprised a little bit. There's a kill indeed. 5-7 though. His opportunities are limited as Chef then finishes him down. So that will be 2-0 with 4 kills overall for Dav already, but he dropped his weapon, so their economy's not building up so much as they lost 3 people this round.
Yeah, and picking up 4 kills in 2 rounds is obviously a perfect start. That's exactly what he wants. Squared off to a really strong start, and they're probably going to pick up a 3rd here, as FTW has pretty much 0 investment into this 3rd round. Squared just need to hold their cool here.
Yeah, sure, and Yuri's though losing right off the bat a little bit of HP, but the team just joins him, so he's not making it out on bomb side. Oh, they lose Jordan! And as I said, Yurich, a little bit of health down. I'm not sure if the 20 HP is going to make a difference really, but that's always something to have on your side, right? Yeah,
you obviously want somebody there pincering it down and just being that absolute anchor. Holmes, 1 and 2, easy as that with the AK-47 long range. Worms, yeah, he's salvaged back a MAC-10, but doing any damage with it would be perfect, and he gets assassinated from the other side of the map. Chev just dunks on him. 3-0 now for Squared Esports, but this is where the boys are separated from men. FTW, they've got guns in their hands. They've got an AWP as well on StatAuto. Should be a lockdown defense if Train has anything to say about it. It is a CT-sided map.
Well, for now, with the AWP, surely I'm looking forward to some performance from StatAuto. Waiting on top of the green, but nobody's coming in from the main, so it's a little bit of a problem for him. But it does not really seem like aggressively the terrorists will be looking for some entries. Worms, though, has to be careful. Has to have some way out right there. In order just when he gets pinned down. Luckily enough, nobody's peeking. Nobody's being boosted out there in the Ivy, because I think that they would be able to spot him out that way.
Yeah, FTW, they are just laying down the foundations for a really strong defense right here. Playing super passive, not giving anything else away. LRO, yeah, he's been taken down to 14 HP this early, and this is a must-win round for FTW. We have to point this out, because if they lose this one, it falls back to another eco, and then it's going to be 5-0 to Squared Esports. They're going to be so far ahead, and on the T side of Train, that's all you could ever wish for. They need this round.
Well, for now, the terrorists finally deciding to go in. Soon the flashbangs will be flying in. Holmes Jordan leading the charge, but actually the flashbang in the pop duck where there was nobody there isn't going to be too effective. So Dodo looking for his angle. He's not able to find anybody just yet. The first kill goes in for actually the CTs, but the bomb is planted already. One man down to just 14 HP rather. So Dodo up close. Is he going to be able to do anything actually? Right here gets nothing really. Not lost at all. Not even a single point of count and gets a kill. And they continue it up. Dixon. He's the only one that has full HP. Alero will be an easy target once he drops down, and actually he doesn't manage to get more than 8 points of damage. He's surrounded, will have to fall. 3-0 turns into 4-0 right now, and FTW, as you said, they will be reset.
That round was all about Jurek. He hit 2 nasty headshots, starting with the first, which was a crazy flick onto Stato, who was playing on top of the bomb train, and after that he just ran rampage. That bomb was always going to explode with him on that bomb site. FTW stuck on a couple of pistols now. Bits of damage done in the preliminary stages of this round, but it's Jurek again, chips one back. 4-0 for Squared Esports as well. This is starting to get out of control. FTW need to put some points on the board sometime soon.
Dixon down to 24, but has a weapon. Maybe this weapon will allow him to just get 2 headshots down out there. Dropping down the rifles on the side of Squared Esports would already be a little bit of an achievement, but then they have to pick them up too. And with the Kevlars that they have, maybe saving them up would be worth it, but for now it doesn't seem like they get a chance like this.
Yeah, and they need a chance. They need to catch somebody off guard, and obviously towards Ivy. 2 CTs pincered and hunkered down here. They've obviously got the AK-47, which they can keep into the next round, and that's actually quite a big deal because it means that they can afford an AWP where otherwise they might not have been able to, and it's an AWP with the extra utility as well. So they're able to have an AK-47, which is already a bigger weapon into the next round. It's a 1-shot headshot as opposed to the M4's 2-shot headshot, or a Galil if they were ever forced back onto this. But if we have a look at the money, saving that AK-47 will be a saving grace for them because it means that we can have an AWPer with utility on that AWP. So Stato, he's able to get 2 flashbangs and a smoke grenade. And on Train, you need that utility. You need preferably Molotovs. If you're playing the B site, you definitely need Molotovs. But it's definitely all about those nades to keep the T's out of the site and make sure that they can't go for one of these 10-second rushes.
Yeah, though on both sides, this utility is really needed. When you want to capture, like, for instance, some place like Ivy, or you want to take control of the pop dog, you always have to have the grenades on both CT and T side, really. The smokes are extremely useful out there too. And there's been so many times where a guy on electric was surprised by a CT still sitting it out in Ivy behind a smoke. So maybe FTW will be thinking about situations like these, because for now, it's always so easy for Square to take the pop dog.
Yeah, it's such a crucial position in the map, isn't it? And once again, Squared Esports, they've got an AWP of their own this time. Jurek, he's only had one for the last couple of rounds, not the opening gun round, but Dixon, talking about AWPs, does work with his. It's the first kill on the board.
Yeah, very much needed, and that's Dixon this time around. Previously it was Stadodo actually playing the AWP, but he wasn't able to get a single kill. He got obliterated by Juric. Now it's down to Dixon, and he has a good start. So that always is a little bit of faith that with this one single effective AWP, they might be able to take down another guy, and that will make the round so much easier already. But the first kill is not definitely going to be enough. The bomb was also planted very easily this far by Square Esports every single time that they tried.
Here comes the push.
So there we go.
LRO drops Dixon as well, and Squared Esports, they've just been tearing through. The CT side, FTW has had no answer for this. Apart from that opening pick from Dixon, obviously getting an aggressive pick with the AWP, giving them the opening of 5 versus 4, but even with that man advantage, they couldn't hold the B site, and that should be an easy site to hold. FTW forced to save once more, and Squared Esports going to be 6 rounds.
Oh. Sonoda manages to get the shot and Shep. Actually a pretty valuable one, I would say, because if not the kill, then one of them would have probably died. And it's always important for them to save up the weapons. As you said, the weaponry. And also, there's going to be, once again, a little bit of utility on Sonoda in the up-and-coming round with that AWP. So, I think that's something, but when they're losing 6 rounds right now in a row, it's tough to really still look at the utility and wonder about that. They have to get some frags going, maybe get a little bit more aggressive this time so that you can get, once again, an initial pick, but then fall back into solid positions and not die as soon as the T's enter.
It's all about those initial picks with the AWP. Obviously, we saw it with Dixon just a few moments ago, but Squared Esports, it's been all them. And you see Justin, he just doesn't seem confident. Drops to Holmes really early on, and Dixon, it's his job once again to try and break back through and do the damage himself. Does hit a nice shot. That's Stato actually. Finds one, but Squared Esports, they've made so much ground onto the A site, and Jurek, he's going to do work with that. There's a headshot onto Dixon, and here's the bomb down as well, a 3v3, but this time FTW, they don't have saving to fall back on. They need to make this one work.
Yurich has to be careful because they knew exactly where Stato was, but they didn't want to chase him down, really. They thought that he just rotated out of there. Now Yurich will be paying attention to this angle, and he's spotted out the sniper again through the box. 2 HP, not too much to get rid of. But Worms wrapping around from behind. Him getting a kill opens up the position for Alaro. They don't know exactly where he is, and that goes down to a 1v1. The smoke on top of the bomb. Can he actually defuse it? Doesn't have a death kit. That's unlucky, and the flashback was just perfect from Jordan.
That was just so nasty. FTW just can't catch a break, losing 1v1s, 5v4s. Every single situation you can put yourself in, they seem to be finding any way to lose it right now. And Squared Esports, in a best of 1 as well, they don't have a second map. They don't have their map pick to fall back on. It's all about this match. They fall down into the loser's bracket, and then they've got to win practically 3 in a row, I think, to get back into this one. And FTW, they need to do something now.
Yeah, that's true. 3 in a row to get the first place in the group still. And the first place is the only thing that matters. But what I wanted to say is, hey, they finally got a close round, actually. It went down to a 1v1, so that's something. Small steps at a time, right?
Yeah.
Sonoda down to 19 HP, but he got a kill. Dixon is going to get another one too, so they have a 1-man lead, although the bomb's already planted, and once again, maybe they might be missing the... Okay, never mind. Everybody left still has a defuse kit. It's all about just getting down Chev and Holmes. Finishing off these easy kills should be where they start, and a good flashbang blinds. Another guy completely Chev has to fall back himself too, but still, while backing off, he manages to get another frag for himself, which is worrisome for the defenders now. Justin single, will he be able to find Jordan? They did blind him with a flashbang, they did force him to back away, but they don't know that he was there. But now he luckily found him at the right moments. And also Worms was defusing in a spot where it wouldn't be possible really for Holmes to take him out with one shot or something. He would still have to wrap around that bomb train. So everything was technically under control.
I'm pretty sure Justin had the information there, maybe a sound cue, because he seemed to absolutely know where Jordan was playing from. Obviously, he was watching that angle, which would be an unconventional angle at best. Obviously, for that plant, you'd usually have a T player at Heaven. They seem to know that he wasn't there, but Squared Esports changing it up, straight onto the A site this time. In FTW, they've been struggling to hold this one down, and this is why Jurek and Holmes going mad on the A site. 2 headshots from them, and is this going to really be a free bomb plant? Straight through the corner of the smoke. Worms does find one back, but this bomb still isn't down.
Well, it will be, and Jordan knew exactly how to outplay Worms right here. And what's most important, Jurich with just 2 HP was able to take out another one. That's where it tipped over the edge. The 3-on-2 turned into a 3-on-1 real quickly. Holmes will go down, and the last man standing is exactly Jurich. with 2 HP. Still a lot of grenades on Alero. Though Juric did catch a glimpse of him. He knows exactly where he was. And once again, I think that it was possible for Alero to spot him out. Now maybe he gets a little bit of info from one of his teammates that there was somebody out there and decides to not defuse the bomb anymore.
Unbelievable.
But used up the HE, used up the molly, and did not catch Juric off guard. That will be the bomb's explosion. That will be yet another round for Squared Esports.
What are we... Oh my god, what are we even watching? What is this actually professional Counter-Strike? FTW seem to be finding a way to lose every single situation that they're in. Who was that? Like what are we watching? What are we watching right now? Just like suiciding. He had a Molotov and an HE, knew that Juric was on 2 HP, throws a Molotov towards one side of the map, the HE goes to the same side. Justin seems mad. He's trying to single-handedly peek back into this one with a deagle, just a deagle at that. And remember, they've been reset, so this force buy is absolutely everything, Nero.
Oh, so Dixon is also going to get something for himself, but then he's shot down by Jordan, so they're not close enough to really get any substantial weapons right now. They're opening up 2 AKs with the headshots on Chev, and well, it is a 4-on-2, so very likely he could take this round, now even more so. And this should already be the round until they make some major mistakes again. Well, Alero this time is able to succeed, is able to pick up some grenades too. It's going to be the second round for them. Although losing that single one, getting their economy reset again, not saving up a single rifle from that round, number 9, and also suiciding, that must have been such a huge blow. And as I said, these guys, they might be looking for something to really build up their confidence on. This is definitely not a play where you build up your confidence.
Yeah, they certainly need that. Obviously, an anti-eco win, as you said, is going to get your confidence rolling. They were obviously not winning any of those 1v1s earlier, even the 2v1s when they had a man advantage or 2-man advantage. Squared Esports always seem to find a way to clinch them in coming with the win. And if you're playing against a team who was so clutch, sometimes you need a couple of those pistol wins. And FTW, maybe winning with the pistols just then is a good way to get yourself back in the game. Squared Esports, their money isn't actually that good. They've got almost nothing if they lose this one after losing to a almost complete eco, a complete force. They're going to be stuck on the eco themselves, and then it'll be pistols. And on train, you cannot do work with pistols. Straight to the B side, though. They've made so much map control. Dav, there's the first. Dixon trades it straight back out, but as I said, so much ground made by Squared Esports.
Yeah, the bomb might have been planted, but Dixon is still very healthy in the air, and after getting a double kill, I'm quite sure that he's going to be on fire. And this far, he's proven to be the most reliable player on FTW.Evo. So for sure, still having him on their side is going to be a good thing. But Shep then getting rid of Worms, so they're getting a little bit too close out there. And Juric, even with just that Tech 9, is able to get a double combined, making it 9-2. So yeah, single round here, single round there. Not really getting a lot of economy going for yourselves. FTW.Evo are in a pretty dark spot.
Yeah, they're in a pickle, aren't they? Here is the pause as well. Well, no, obviously no pause coming in. That didn't exactly work out for them.
I think they paused in the very beginning of the map, so that might be the thing.
Oh,
they might not
they use attack. Oh, they use attack already. Okay, sure thing then. But FTW, they wanted a pause just then, but didn't actually get one. So. And you see that buy right here after losing another one to a pretty shoddy buy from Squared Esports. It seems that they're going to be forced back onto a couple of rifles, just the 2, a UMP, and these downgraded pistols. Justin, obviously a monster with his deagle, so if he can get something rolling, he could open up something for his team. But he's getting sprayed through the side of the box. This Holmes spotting out the angle perfectly. Stato does find one, but Squared Esports, you see, they're just setting up this default. They probably want to go towards the B site. This is where the bomb is rotating off to. However, looks pretty solid right now from FTW, and with the pistols again.
Oh, well, the pistols are just so scary, especially the deagle in the hands of Justin Single. And, I mean, just his nickname already tells you that he's going to want to get these one-tap headshots.
Yeah. He wants to single bulleters, doesn't he? Stato, yeah, he's actually found some information off the back of this one. He spotted, I don't know who it was, Chev, I think, walking around, stomping about. There's Justin. He's not going to hit any 1-digs, and Chev's going to follow it up. 2 headshots for Squared as they plummet their way back onto the A site. It's once again a free bomb site. Worms and LRO trying to do their best to shut it down, but with just the FAMAS left, Worms, what can he do? What are you made of? Jurek trying to take this angle, but he doesn't need to. Holmes is going to do it all himself. 10 rounds, double digits for Squared.
And this is, I'm afraid that it's not going to look much better for FTW.Evo in the future. I feel like the CT side's also going to be as strong for Squared, so the side change doesn't improve a lot there. And they're playing just simple pistols, plain pistols with no Kevlars, no grenades out there. RLO has his CZ75 and was able to knock down one person in the upper and bomb side B once already with that. But then the rest of the team also had a little bit more for themselves to defend themselves, really. But getting a single kill and then getting your entire team killed at the same time isn't too bright of an idea out there, I guess.
Well, no, I'm sure that that's not what they had planned, but it was a total wipeout. As soon as Squared wanted to push that A site, they pretty much got it for free, and Stato just spotted out the leg. And this is damage, 35 HP left, and obviously it's just a USP. Here come the nades, and FTW, you see, they're just getting picked apart. Jurek, that was perfect play with his teammate. Holmes putting in the damage, and then Jurek, the 1-2 sucker punch, taking out the USP, which they can be a threat. Obviously, 2 headshots is all it takes to do a kill. Couple of kills could be on the cards if one of those USP sneaks back past the defensive line of the aggressive T side. And here comes the bomb down. FTW, they're just setting up for a couple of these exits. They want the exits, but Squared have been so proficient at holding this one down. You see, this is why Davi's not overcommitting. There goes the USP. As I said, it's the headshots that really matter. Picks up an AK-47, but that's going to drop as well. This is... Yeah, they can't do anything with the pistols here, can they?
Yeah, that's the thing. They had one more guy up close. They weren't able to really lay their hands on this AK-47, secure it for themselves. And the USPs, sure, they can be lethal, but also what they can do is pretty limited because you usually have to use up the entire mag before you really get that headshot to pick an enemy off. And when you really want to take somebody else down, then you're, once again, completely defenseless, completely hopeless. 11-2 is the scoreline now. There is a big chance to close it off with 13-2 the first half, but Stad has once again this AWP for himself. Well, let's see if he can finally do something that matters, really. If he can get a double kill in here to secure a round for the team. If they can get 4 rounds out of this and then win a pistol, and they're already getting kind of close. But if that doesn't happen, then this map will just as well be over. Yeah,
and I feel like it might already be. 12 rounds probably going to be on the board now. 3 versus 5 in FTW. Are they forced to save once again? Jurek does sneak his way past, but Worm spots it out. There's an AWP. Saved into the next round quite possibly, and Stato would desperately want that. Obviously it was just a glass cannon this time, so as soon as you take 1 bullet to the chest, you can barely even rattle an AWP shot off accurately at that point. So 3-4, and Squared eSports, like, they seem to be very close to the finish line right now. Chev, oh, check this corner, there's the headshot as well. You see Justin, he doesn't really seem that confident. He seemed to be very, very wavy with his aim right there, and it only takes 1 bullet with that AK-47. There's another gun down. There's the AWP dropped in. Dixon, he's hiding. He needs to save this M4. It's all that they've got to work with, but Squared did get close, but nope. FTW do save it, but that's going to be the only main rifle that they work with. The only M4 to their name.
Okay, then. Not much that they have out there indeed. The M4 that you mentioned. 2 defuse kits combined over the entire team. They have some incendiaries though, which is quite a big thing. 3 incendiaries out there to keep the terrorists away, but they're not willing to rush it down or anything. Worms has a 1v1 situation. Here will surprise you, reach not enough to get the kill though. Ah, so close. I could still imagine that it would be a kill for Urich actually, but Worms manages to make it work. So maybe at least this round. Alaro also getting a lot of valuable info right here. Doesn't seem like it, but then drops down the bomb, and they have one man lead with Holmes down to 17 HP. It looks good enough.
Oh, he ate a nade right there, and there's the follow-up. Holmes takes him down. Chev as well. What a headshot. That was lightning fast. And Square eSports might be able to finish this half off in almost perfect fashion. There's the Molotov down, but extinguished by that smoke grenade. The flash to follow it up, but Squared aren't peeking. They think this is a fake, but of course it is. An FTW, a third round off the board, but is it really enough, Nero?
I was talking about 2 rounds. I never said anything what's going to happen if they win a single one.
Sure thing.
No, but really, even if they win the pistol round right now, it's probably going to close off with 6-12, and it's half of what Squared have. With 7-11, it would have been 4 rounds discrepancy. It would have been doable, but right now it's still a little bit too far away.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really... a lot of people underestimate how difficult a comeback like this is. Squared eSports, all they have to do is save a couple of times, even if they lose this pistol round, get an AWP or 2 in their hands, and that's almost a guaranteed round. Maybe even an auto sniper if they want to be cheeky and absolutely stronghold guarantee this map, but I don't think that they need to be relying on any gimmicky plays to secure this one. FTW going to be a solid B rush now in Squared eSports. All they need is a single pick coming into this one, then they can initiate a retake.
Sanoda with a great headshot, and the pistol round belonged to Squared eSports last round, and we mentioned that they had some amazing aim out there, and we can already expect that for the entirety of the map, but it does not seem so true in the second pistol apparently. Right here, FTW.Evo are dominating. Chev all alone down to 78. F1, no control in A3, protects himself. How did he even get that headshot through the burst fire mode? Not too lucky from Dixon.
Yeah, and he's been hitting shots left, right, and centre, so that doesn't actually necessarily surprise me. But on the FTW side, that could be a feel-good round that they really need. Obviously, the follow-ups here would be like really beneficial for them, but Squared, if they're going to win this one, it's going to be off the back of this nade stack. 5 HEs in, and looks like it's going to be all thrown towards A, so there go the nades. And FTW circumventing that tactic, and 0 damage done by that $1,500 investment, but this CZ all chipping in. There's one, Jordan doing the damage initially, and there's a second and third. Nuts! Squared, what are you doing? You cannot do this. 0 investment into this one, and just Worms left. A UMP in hand versus 2 players with no armor. This could be done.
They have the bomb, and they might be able to pick something up. At least better pistols out there. Maybe some SMGs. I don't think about the rifles, really. And Urich manages to survive at least, but doesn't really get too much damage through. 1 minute left on the clock. There's a ton of time for Worms to try and figure it out, but most importantly, he cannot get surrounded because that would be his death. He knows that both of the enemies are right in front of him and tries to kill them both at the same time, and also should not work out. That's dangerous.
He's missed the whole clip right now, Nero, but needs to go for it. Both peak at the same time in Squared. You see, they play it so accurately. They play it so efficiently, both together. And FTW, this team play, they have there's nothing right now. To counter this. This is what happens when you've got a proper system in place. Even with a couple of USPs, you can really romp it home.
Oh, this is just unbelievable. I don't even know how to sum it up, really. But Chev, as you mentioned in the pistol round, sending these headshots left, right, and center, and he just proved it very much in this last round. Finishing it off with a headshot himself, right? The P250 worked out quite well. Now the P250s are in the hands of Justin Single and Dixon. Justin Single, I very much preferred him with the deagle. Let's see what he can do with a little pistol.
I think I know how to sum it up. Wrecked, and they've just been destroyed again. FTW walking right into the blender. 4 kills for Squared, and Worms finds himself in a 1-on-5. No idea why he didn't push with his team, of course, but looks like it's going to be 4-14 in Squared. They are pressing their noses up against the finish line.
So, Worms, what are you going to figure out this time? 1v2 was not able to really prevail out there. And was able to drop down Urich to 1 HP though. Maybe getting a kill here on an M4 player. Picking up an M4, saving it up. But there's 35 seconds there.
Yeah, and there's no reason for Square to push. Obviously, they don't have to go for any aggressive play. They've got a perfect buy. They've got the absolutely perfect game. They don't need to play into FTW's hands. You see, they're just going passive. They don't need this UMP. They don't need it at all. They don't... Worms with 1 UMP against a fully bought up squared side is almost a non-threat at that point, unless he can really get lucky and find a gap in the defense, but that's not going to happen. And after time, I guess they can push it. I guess Square can really do whatever the hell they like right now.
Well, at least they have the UMP, right?
Sure thing, but that's the only thing that they've got. They've got absolutely nothing.
Can we also give them like a sugar cube or something?
Do what with that?
That like eats. No, sugar's happiness, right?
Oh sure. So you want to give them a sugar rush so they play better and aim better? You think there's a lack of energy? Why they suck right now?
Might be. I mean, in Poland right now, it's over 30 centigrade, so I'd imagine in Portugal it's like 68.
68 Celsius? Like boiling point?
Yeah, that's my guess, though.
For blood? It's like, Portugal is hot. I'm supposed to be going to Spain in the next couple of weeks, so let's hope it's hot and sunny for me as well. But yeah, in Germany it's nice and hot as well, especially with these studio lights looming above me. But there's the UMP down, so now it's just 4 Glocks, nothing to work with for FTW, and the best case scenario is a bomb plant. And with a very passive Square defense, they don't actually, this might actually concede a bomb plant. The Square don't actually care. Jordan trying to throw that nade out, and it's a touchdown, does the damage on the bomb site as well. There's the bomb, but it's not actually that costly. Squared have 11 rounds to play with after this to close this one out, and they're obviously going to win this one as well. A swarm of the bomb site is 15-4 as our scoreline, and this might just be destruction. Squared might close it out right now.
Well, I don't know. At least they didn't get burned by the incendiary that was tossed right to the bomb. Really, they're getting wrecked left, right, and center. It's not only about one player landing these shots. It's really about FTW not being able to get close to victory in most of these, unluckily. But somehow they got the 4 rounds out there. Somehow they've been able to close out even an eco of their own. So it is possible, that we know.
Yeah.
However, bringing it back, as you mentioned, 11 rounds in a row, it's a little bit less so.
Yeah, this one, it definitely is a possible comeback. It's like, we have seen crazier things, but there's been no saving grace for them. They've just looked horrible this whole series, and they're probably about to eat a meaty grenade right here. Jordan throws down a defensive molly. I actually like the CT saving their mollies, especially on the B site, and playing it like Stewie would, and throwing it in front of the bomb train to stop the push when they come in, because now they can just wait for this molly to dissipate, and Dav could actually be caught out here without getting any kills. And that's exactly what happens. Chev and Holmes does chip in, but now this is a 2v3, and they've got a chance to close this map out here.
34 HP out there. There is an incendiary available, but no HE, and that would be the best for that. But if they neutralize him with the M4s, it doesn't make a difference though. Worms from behind. Can he actually finally get something done with the UMP? What? TRH was switching the weapons. Unfortunately enough for himself. There's Shev though with the reply, and AWP up against him. There's a good shot that he might have been able to defuse it if you get the smoke, really.
Yeah,
but
always missed one, and he goes down nuts. Oh no, this was the worst map I think this was maybe the worst train performance I've ever seen from a team in maybe 500 maps.
Defuse.
This was awful. Like, he didn't have to push. Like, what did we just watch, Nero? What just happened?
Like, the only thing that I can come up with is, like, maybe he thought that he was sneaking up the ladder or something to try and rush him down, so he wanted to check that.
I guess. What was that whole map? What was that performance? Like, have you got anything good to say about FTW? One thing.
Yeah,
One
I didn't
thing.
get disappointed by
You
them.
did
I
get
didn't get disappointed.
disappointed. So this is
Because I
exactly what
pretty
you're
much
expecting,
said at the
yes.
start of the group, yeah, that's what I was expecting. That's what this far the performance from FTW mostly has looked like in the Legend series. So unfortunately, it's still staying the same. But on the other hand, I said I had my doubts about Squared Esports. It seems like it's not so bad for them. And their aim is definitely quite on point right there. And we'll see what it looks like when it comes down to facing off against some more serious of a team, I guess. But it's not like I'm saying that FTW is not serious at all. It's that I'm saying that Outlaw is just looking so much better, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. And one of the disappointing things about this match is we didn't really get to see the best of either of these teams. It's like, I have no idea what the level of Squared is right now. I don't know if they might stand a chance against Outlaws. I don't know if they are just going to completely suck in this. Like in the winners match that we're very likely going to see, because the next match, you can see it on your screen right now, is Outlaws versus AYB. And this one is probably going to be an Outlaws victory as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Outlaws' victory is expected, but we'll actually see what it looks like. But from now, Define, huge thank you for hosting us with over 1,000 people out there. It's
Awesome.
an incredible pleasure to us that you're sending people over to watch the matches, but actually it's going to be a match this time, that we can for sure say. As AYB, they don't have too bad players out there. There are some quite known German players on the lineup, and also Outlaws GG. I don't think that we have to introduce them to you.
Yeah, we definitely don't have to. We don't have to really discuss the Outlaws roster. Everybody knows the first four players, but I think their fifth is probably going to be Partodus. We're talking about that in just a few minutes, but now I want to talk to you about tonight's caster challenge. So just before the grand final, we're going to have a challenge for everybody at home, for the lucky viewer to come and fight me. We've got a little graphic as well that we'll probably be showing on the screen in just a few moments, but I'll explain how this works right now. Register on ChallengeME.gg. You can use !CME to participate. I assume that that's in the chat. The first ticket is free, and you can buy additional tickets for 10 betties each, which is our Twitch currency that you're constantly gaining from watching our stream and so on. A challenger will be picked right before the group finals, so that's probably going to be in about 4 or so hours from now. If you beat me, there's a disgusting picture of my face on the screen. I don't know who accepted that. And subscribers have a higher chance of winning, but we need to talk about the prize, obviously. You get to choose one of these two skins. It's either the StatTrak M31S Decimator Factory New, that's nice and expensive, or the Shadow Daggers Forest DD Pat field tested as well. So if you beat me tonight, you win one of those skins, or like of your choice. And we'll be doing this, I'm pretty sure, every single day. So go sign up now. It's nice and easy, nice and quick, and you might get to play on stream against yours truly later today.
All right, I wonder how that will actually pan
I'm gonna
out.
win.
Really.
I'm gonna win. Whoever you are.
I don't know. I never watched you
crush
play. I never watched you play.
I'm gonna absolutely crush whoever.
Okay, so
I get put against.
so if the challenger wins, they get the skins. But do you get the skins if you win? Because we can get the Shadow Daggers. You're gonna give me one. You're gonna leave yourself one.
I'll have a discussion with my boss. If I get commission if I win tonight's game, I don't know. Nobody's mentioned it to me, but let's keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully I make a lot of money if I win. I don't know though.
All right.
Might not. It's pride.
It's another
it's
way
pride.
to actually...
It's pride. I will
Yeah.
feel so good if I win this tonight. But I'm a little bit nervous, like playing on stream. I know that there's a lot of people in the office downstairs rooting for me to lose. It's like one of our technical directors really want me to lose to this game today.
Yeah, that's a fact. They actually told me about this challenge yesterday, and they told me to just assume that you're gonna lose, probably.
Oh
so.
no! They actually said this about me. That's That's not very nice. I'd rather them say it to my face, be like, "You're gonna lose, Squid." People have been telling me that I'm gonna lose all day, so I'm here to prove some people wrong. That's basically my job. I'm not really here to cast. I'm just here to play the 1v1.
No, but it really still depends on just who you will get actually through this giveaway, really. And I mean, as far as I know, 99% of the chat usually is the best global elites that have 6 years of competitive gaming out there. So you're gonna have a tough task, really.
Sure thing. So if you feel like you've got a shot against myself, go sign up. It's absolutely free. And you can use that currency if you don't have anything better to use it on trying to play myself today. But we've got more pressing issues, Nero. We've got a game coming up. We actually are going to watch some Counter-Strike today. That's not just a 1v1. We're going to actually have Outlaws versus AYB. So in terms of a prediction, if you have to guess a scoreline, obviously we don't know the map just yet, but have you got any numbers that you could throw out at me?
More than 4 rounds for AYB and 16 for Outlaws GG.
Sure thing. So when you say more than 4, are you thinking that it's going to be very close, or big? That's quite a big. It's quite a big.
It's really hard. But as I said, I don't think that AYB is a complete no-name lineup or something along these lines. I think they're going to do a good job, but still beating Outlaws GG will be an immense challenge for every team that's taking part in this Group A. So I'm giving them like 9 rounds, let's say, 16-9.
Personally, I think that Outlaws could be the number 1 seed to this whole tournament. I feel like they might even be the favourites to win this win this whole thing. I feel like they're just phenomenal. That's permitting if Cirque stays with the team. Or we've just seen, I think, Rocking just left. Or like if Cirque follows suit and leaves, then that might really shake them up a bit. But he's an absolutely superstar AWPer. I just want to give a huge thanks to Define. He's hosting us right now for over 1,200 viewers. So thanks very much, mate. It's much appreciated. But obviously, back to this game. Outlaws, I feel like they're going to win this. I feel like they're going to win this pretty big. I feel like we're probably going to see a very similar scoreline once again.
Yeah, so for now, just taking a look at the lineup of the tournament and so on, as you just mentioned, Outlaws could be the number 1 seed for the entire tournament. That kind of made me curious, and I'm willing to say that, yeah, until they lose against FTW right there in the losers brackets, right?
Yeah, sure.
But no, just jokes aside, there's Isaba, who will want to once again get a good shot. The winners of the Legend Series number 2. So they're still there in the lineup, in the mix. There's Tricked eSports.
Yeah, that's obviously the old Singularity lineup. That could be a really... They could really pose a threat against a team like Outlaws, I feel.
Yeah, and isn't Define himself the guy that's hosting us playing on Bext Academy?
Yeah, he is.
I'm not wrong, so let's see.
Yeah, so
yeah, it works out for him.
Like, obviously, we've got big names, we've got big teams as well in this tournament, normally split up like 1 per group. But I feel like, I can't remember the date where we host the group final, when we find the top 2 teams, but I feel like that's going to be a fantastic day of Counter-Strike, where everybody's going to be such a high level of skill on that day. It'll probably be, well, it'll very likely be Outlaws and Tricked and teams like this, all facing off against each other. And then obviously we finish it off with the LAN finals with the top 2 teams coming to LAN and playing against each other. And that'll be just an awesome day of Counter-Strike as well. So I feel like we've got some of the best Counter-Strike that Legend Series has seen ahead of us.
Yeah, surely for all the LAN finals, I think that is going to be an amazing battle. But also, just to mention, because we have not mentioned it yet, I think we're not playing Counter-Strike 4 days straight. We actually have Thursday and Friday, which is today and tomorrow, of Group A and B. And then next week, on also Thursday and Friday on the 10th and 11th of August, we've got Group C and D. So there's this 1 week of a break between the first half of the groups and the second one.
Sure thing. So put it in your calendar. We'll be back next Thursday and Friday as well for more Counter-Strike as well. But right now we've got another a game coming up. We've got Outlaws, and then we've got a whole day of CS ahead of us. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break while these teams prepare, but don't go anywhere because we will be right back in about 5 minutes for Outlaws versus AYB. See you then.
Never gonna let you go, never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up, I'm never gonna let you go.